Hey, Dennis Mattern here with The Complete Advisor. So glad that you've taken time to hear what we have to say. Today, we are diving back into part two of a conversation that we were having with Dennis Moseley-Williams. Dennis is a dynamic, fantastic visionary. I would actually say visionary when it comes to our industry and what affects you as an advisor, the conversations you're having, how you relate to your clients, how you attract them. So take a listen to this episode. In fact, also keep an ear out. I asked Dennis the question what he sees going forward for the next 10 years. I asked him to make a prediction. And I will tell you that part of what he's predicted has already started to come true. Fascinating. I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you're never out of the loop when it comes to new episodes. And if you want, drop a comment in the comment section. I would love to know what you're thinking. I'd love to get you involved in our conversations. Thanks. So you're coaching advisors.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit. Let's do a shameless plug a little bit, but tell us a little bit about what you're doing there with advisors.
Okay. Well, we work with financial advisors, as you generously sort of read from our website. What we do, we work with financial advisors who want to create more value, more value for their clients, more profit for their business by innovating around customer experience and design. Okay, that's sort of like the first pass.
Yep.
What we help them figure out is what business they're actually in. Are they selling investments? Are they delivering services? Are they staging experiences, or are they guiding transformations? And so many people hear that and instantly take a step back. It's almost like they're disappointed. Oh, I liked this guy, but then he insisted on starting with the whole touchy-feely, what business are you really in? Yeah, well, there's a reason. Okay, and the reason is this. Because if you, back to the experience and services as an example, because once I educate you that experiences are totally different than services, that Starbucks is totally different than a coffee shop, that Uber is totally different than a taxi cab service. Once you see that there is a difference, you understand it, then the next thing you will understand is this. Therefore, these two businesses require an entirely different distribution of resources. So as soon as you realize, oh shoot, I'm not a service business. Damn, I'm an experience business. It's like, yeah, everything you're doing, you have to change now. They're not synonyms, those two words. So we work with advisors. Part of it is certainly, what business are you in? A part of our work is practice management. Experiences are built on top of services. So what about the fundamentals of business, it's all there. Segmentation, systems and process, a procedures manual, clearly defined roles and responsibilities, identifying constraints, nerdy business stuff, as I like to call it around the dining room table. What'd you do at work, Dad? Bunch of nerdy business stuff. After we get that locked in, then we get into this idea of, okay, how can we turn all of this into an experience? How can we use time and emotion differently? And then ultimately, where we're leading this to is the commitment of transforming the client. Who are you bringing? How are you helping them become what they want to be? Mm-hmm. Even someone listening right now who says, well, I'm not going to disagree with you, Dennis, but it's not really for me. It's not really like, I don't gravitate to that stuff, which is totally fine. I'm not offended. I wouldn't be offended by that. But I will point out, even an advisor who sticks to their knitting, who sticks to the what I call the foundational work, the functional work. My mother died. I've inherited money. I've done this. I've been fired. I got a severance package. This. I heard your name. We need financial planning. I need this. A really good advisor is still going to listen to find out and discover the emotional needs that are informing this desire. You see what I mean? Like, you're still going to listen and ask questions about what is motivating this client. Mm-hmm. And once you do, right, it's like, okay, well, now we're going to take them somewhere. Once they have this is a question for everyone to think about. So you've met your Dennis and Sherry fictitious client. We've had the meetings. We've signed the papers. All the assets have moved over. You've adjusted the plan, and the plan is now done. Everything's there. We're now in the monitoring. I'll get really honest with everybody. I'm 51 and a half years old, okay? Dennis, this thing is just, we're just going to monitor it for like the next X number of years. Okay, so here's the question. So advisors, is your job now done? How do you know when your job is done? What am I going to say to you that's going to tell you your job is done? And if you're stuck on services, which you don't want to be in because they're commoditized, that's a race you don't want to win to the bottom. Be like, Jesus, did you say the plan's done? Plan's done. I'll give you the whole thing. Oh yeah, and you're managing 100% of my assets. Okay, and we've got all your meetings booked? Yep. And you're going to call me every 90 days and check in, say hello? Yeah. Okay. Is your job done? And you might think, oh, well, what was your number? I'm going to pick a crazy number. $100 million. Okay, well, I guess I'll call you at 100 million. No. When I work with someone, I know my job is done within 60 to 90 days of working with them, even though I will be working with them for 12 to 14 months because of what they say. They'll say to me or my partner, Tom, somewhere in 60 to 90 days, sometimes less, they'll say something like this. And I'm thinking of David and Deborah that I work with. This is a lot of fun. Hey, Dennis, before I let you go, I just wanted to these are all things I've heard. I just want to let you know, my kids say I'm a lot more relaxed since I started working with you. Hey, Dennis, I just want to I'm listening. Hey, I want to let you know I'm listening to you. My wife and I have been going on more dates. Okay, so I know then my work is done. Is there still a laundry list of stuff I've got to finish? Oh yeah, with due dates and reporting and all of it. Okay, fair enough. But I've changed the person. They just told me so. What is a transformation? It's this. You think time differently. Right now, the value of service is I can do it fast. Hey, Dennis and Sherry, do you want to just do this next review meeting on a Zoom? What are you telling me? That your value is you're saving me a drive downtown? That's your value? I can stay at home and only wear a shirt for this meeting? What are you telling me? Shouldn't it be the other way, that I can't wait to see you? That seeing you matters? It's about time well spent, time well invested, and who you're helping me become. Thinking differently. So you want time with you should be this. Emotional. Everybody listening, tack 30 minutes onto every meeting you do forever starting today. Take your time, slow it down. It should be emotional. Once you get to emotion, go to meaning. It should be memorable because it's deeply personal, and it should be transformational. And what does that mean? That's such a big word. It's this. You need to create within me at least the possibility that I can reconsider my beliefs or my behavior. That's your job. And it could be about things like every client has a different North Star. This is not my case, but I'm going to use it as an example because I want to be crystal clear. Okay. So I have, let's just say hypothetically, which is not the case. I'm super tight with them. I'm proud to say, but what if I had a relationship with my brother and we had been estranged for 7 years? Go back to generosity and detailing my Jeep. I'm saying, someone wants to say, I'm an advisor. That's not my job. And I want to say, oh no, why not? Aren't my relationships, my social relationships, a part of my overall wealth? So now I've got piles of money, but a broken heart. I'm not saying you got a ABC television and intervention. These two brothers have no idea they're about to meet at a coffee shop. The financial advisor is posing as the manager. No. But surely to goodness, you could find me something to read. You could find something for me to watch. You could influence in that way, right? Transformation. You're getting me to see the world differently. And it doesn't have to be so heavy. Most advisors, the transformation you have to help your clients with is to realize they have more money than they think. that the biggest risk they're taking every day isn't the market, it's wasting their life.
Well, let me ask you this, because I want to take up all of your time. I just want to remind everybody listening, I'm going to put the blog, how to access the blog, in the comments, so people can find it. Again, your writing is incredible. I was just looking at some of the other blogs I was going to bring up, but for sake of time, but how to create fans, 3 questions for more referrals, getting more referrals, work-life integration. Those are just the last couple. Like, I could just keep going on a laundry list. But as you look forward from where you're sitting right now, so you're working with advisors, you're helping them transform themselves and other lives. As you look forward, this is a 2-parter. What are you excited about? What are you excited about? What are you concerned about?
Oh, okay. Well, the first part is really easy to answer, and because I can keep it in the business. What is it they say about people that call for market corrections or like real estate corrections? Well, they're always right eventually. You know what I mean? Like they call doom and gloom for 5 years, and finally it tanks, and I was right. The very first exposure I ever had to the financial services industry, I instantly saw, you guys are crazy. This isn't about the portfolios, it's about the people and who they want to become. It was as obvious to me as the nose on my face, as they say. So I'm very excited to see all of this talk about transformation, comprehensive financial planning, etc. I believe this to my very core. Financial advisor is the most important professional working today. Money is emotional and complex. It represents too much to us. Those of us that are in the business know it's just a tool. We really think a little bit too much about it. But to civilians, as I like to say, people outside of the business, it's a great big complex emotional issue. They are conditioned to listen to, report in, and trust their financial advisor. The financial advisor, if they would only assume the social responsibility of that, it's like, you could change the world one conversation at a time. Like, think about what could happen look at all the wonderful work we're doing now in this business on investor behavior, behavioral finance. It's wonderful. We have this super powerful computer in our head, and none of us have an owner's manual for it. It's crazy. So I'm very excited about the direction the industry is moving in. What am I concerned about? Outside of the business, I'm concerned about the environment and our wholehearted casualness to approach it as a crisis. Inside the business, I'm not really concerned about this, but I'm going to say it. I think 1/3 of financial advisors are going to get wiped out. It doesn't necessarily concern me, though, but that's something people should be concerned about. And this is what I could see in the future. AI is huge. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to go that route. Then there'll be the second group of advisors are going to be salaried employees that have a whole bunch of clients to work with a shot at taking a bonus. And then there's at earning a bonus. And then there's going to be this third group, and they are going to become advocates. They will offer a complete solution. They will come up with a different way to charge for their services. They will charge for transformations versus services. And they will partner with their clients actively to provide the support and guidance each client needs to achieve what they have predetermined they need to be successful. And each client will be different. So I'm not concerned. I'm excited about all of that. I don't know if I have concerns for inside the business other than, I don't know, a lot of people are going to get crushed in this because they will refuse to make this shift. And it's like, I'm telling you, everybody, this is what people want. And there was a big report that came out by McKinsey towards the end of last year that was all on this, said so. The next 10 years, you're going to see advisors shift away from, let's say, being financial experts to be, I believe the term they used was like sort of a more integrated life coach. I prefer to say advocate, and I'm going to give you the definition here. Obviously, an advisor is an expert on a given subject, and they tell you what you should do about it because you're not, and they charge you a fee for that. Done. That's what an advisor is. An advocate is what everyone wants to be, and it's this. It's a person who publicly champions a cause or a policy. Advisors you buy from, advocates you buy into. Steve Jobs was an advocate. We didn't buy computers from Steve Jobs. We shared a worldview with Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs changed the way we created. He didn't sell computers. What are you, I said, what are you turning your clients into? Another way to look at that is, or rather I said, who are you helping them become, would be, what are you asking them to buy into? And this is an idea that they believe, for me, this serious shift. Well, that's what I'm asking them to buy into. It means a lot. It's work balance. It's doing work that matters. It's being authentic. It's being generous. It's a lot than just the serious shift. It means a lot to me and my tribe of people. But what's important is this. All the people in my tribe don't believe they can get it done without me. And I bring us all together to do it together. So what are you doing for your clients? And I can ask everybody listening some questions. You'll feel naked. Do you have a shelf of books in your office that every client has to read? How come? What are you asking them to buy into? I've got books all over. This is a book I'm mailing out today. The Happiness Advantage. Okay, so what's your work all about? What's your idea all about? I just watched 2 amazing movies. Do I have time to talk about them?
Yeah.
I guess it's podcast. We can talk all this. Could be 3 hours long. Okay, so here it is. The first movie is easier. It's called Stutz. S-T-U-Z. Stutz. Do you know the actor Jonah Hill? Funny guy? Mm-hmm. He's in a lot of movies. He's funny. Young fella. Okay, well, this is a movie. It's a documentary about his therapist. And I'm very proud to tell you that my buddy told me I had to see it. And I literally was like, I'll get to it. There's so much content, right? I'll get to it. I'm watching a great show right now myself. I'll get there. And the only reason I jumped, he flattered me. He said, oh no, you got to see it, man. This guy's whole therapy approach is just like your consulting approach. Like you're all over it. Wow. As if I'm not going to go look now. Well, this therapist and just be the advisor here. He's got a way of doing it. He says, well, everybody needs to have a really, really good relationship with their thoughts, with their world, their body. Okay. So now you're an advisor. Okay. You need to come up with some kind of buy into, which would be, Dennis, I'm going to help you manage your money. Okay. The next thing I'm going to help you figure out is I'm going to do some social work for you. This is work. I'm going to help you work on yourself. The things about yourself you want, the feelings you have that you want to enhance or diminish. I'm going to involve myself in that. And the third is aspirational work, legacy, who you want to become. What's important to you, Dennis? And then, as your advisor, I'm going to work with you the whole way along as not an accountability coach, as an integrated partner in your life. To help you pull all this off, I'm bringing products in. I'm bringing services in, and I'm bringing in experiences. I'm going to bring in a guest speaker and blow you away. Why wouldn't you all get together with your clients and watch the movie I just told you? Why wouldn't you give them books to read and then have a book club? The second movie is beautiful. It's called In and of Itself. I found it on Crave, for those of you who might go looking. My buddy got me to watch it. Another buddy. I have 2. My other buddy got me to watch it. He goes, oh, you got to see it. It's going to blow you away. And I'm just going to tell you really quickly why it's powerful. It's a documentary in and of itself about a magician who has a show off Broadway. Okay? That's what it's about. And at the end, he does this big trick. And the big trick is he guesses something that he can't possibly know about you. But not just you, about 2/3 of the audience stands up in the theater and he walks up, looks in your face, and he guesses something. He could have guessed your home telephone number, your favorite color, the last thing you ate, the name of your dog, the kind of car you drive, your zip code or postal code for those of you listening from Canada and other parts of the realm. Okay? The Commonwealth. But he doesn't. He guesses something very specific. How does he do it? Who cares? It's just a trick. He's not a sorcerer. The magic is this. When people walk into the theater, there's a pegboard, big wall full of like pegs with name tags on them. And it says, each name tag says something different. They all start the same. I am a, and then there'll be some title, okay? And they pick, and they go sit down and they watch the show. And at the end, he says this, please everybody just stick with me. This gives me chills. He says, hey, when you all came in tonight, there was a wall full of those tags. And you check them all out. And some of you probably had some fun with it because one of them is, I am a ninja. Okay, he goes, but some of you really took your time considering it. I only want you to stand, which is why about 2/3 of the audience stands up. This is the magic. How'd he do it? Who cares? Secret cameras, secret microphones. I have no idea. Sometimes magic has just taken more time than anybody would ever think is appropriate. Maybe he looked up every person that bought a ticket and investigated them for a month before they walked in. It doesn't matter. This is what matters. Those of you who took it seriously, stand up. He goes through the theater and he looks them square in the eyes. I'm looking at you through my screen right now. And he goes, hello, teacher. And the person, upon hearing the right answer, would sit down, but the camera stays on them. And when they sit down, they look at the person beside them and they cry. Here's they have been seen as they want to be seen, as they see themselves. Think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if I can go there. Everybody, for the most part, knows what that is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, here's, it looks like a pyramid. The top is the top. The bottom is the basic stuff you need, which in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's air, water, and nourishment. And if I'm not mistaken, basic shelter. The next level up is like a little bit of moderate comfort, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And this is what I'm going to point out. The financial services industry only handles those first two. The next three are like some accomplishments, some self-esteem, and then the very top level that drives us from the moment we've got thoughts. Who the hell am I? And what do I want to be? And how am I going to get there and die happy and satisfied and content and good? Nobody has anybody bringing them there. So yeah, bring your clients in for review meetings, check-in calls. When the market goes freaky, let them know. But how are you engaging with them, what I'm excited about, to help them achieve their personal aspirations and become who they want? And in your enlightened self-interest, don't you think you'd get more referrals if you were a story people wanted to share? No, you wouldn't, Dennis, you're not going to believe it. I just read this book. It's so amazing. Sherry read it too. Now we're doing this and this. Oh, how'd you hear about the book? Well, this guy gave it to me and you got to meet him. It's so obvious to me. I don't understand why anybody would fight it.
I tell you what, my friend, I could keep the camera rolling in this conversation going all doggone day, but I'm going to bring us to a close here with a couple thoughts. One, okay. I need to have you back on. And then two, when you're down this way, I'd love to be in studio with you at the same time and hang out and catch that convo and conversation. But for everybody listening, I'm going to put information on how to get a hold of Dennis in the comments. What you're preaching, and maybe that's the right word because you're an advocate, and it's awesome to talk to somebody who believes wholeheartedly in what they're saying, and you can see it, the genuineness. You were a Punxsutawney Phil back in 1995. I don't know if you up that way have a Punxsutawney Phil. All right. is it like Montgomery the Bee? I don't know what it would be.
We have a Wyerton Willie, and thank you for asking. Same idea though.
What is he? Is he like a marmot or a?
He's a little groundhog fella.
Very nice.
And he lives in a town called Wyerton here in Ontario. And when he's not doing that, he's the Minister of Health. No, he just comes out, sees the shadow, and we get a few more weeks of skiing. That's kind of how it works.
Does the whole nine. Well, back when you started in '95, you were spot on with what you saw then. And I think what you said just a couple minutes ago about when I asked you what concerns you, which was one heck of an opportunity. I mean, really, you see it as an opportunity. That's what change is. But you're right. In my line of business, on our side of the fence, we have a lot of competitors, and there are those basic numbers, those basic things, and it's what do you do, and what is the experience? What do you bring? But at any rate, again, I could talk to you for hours. So I need to have you back on the podcast. For everybody watching or listening, please, feel free, hit that like button. Hit subscribe, that way you don't miss out when we drop podcasts. We drop these all the time. And then if you have any comments, any thoughts, want to catch up any information, just let me know. I'd love to hear it. Dennis Moseley-Williams, thank you for your time. Thanks for being a guest, and have a great rest of the day.
Dennis, you're doing great work with your podcast, man. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
This podcast is for financial professional use only and not for use with the general public. The information provided is the exclusive property of Creative One and is protected by copyright and other intellectual property laws of the United States. This material has been prepared for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to provide, and should not be relied upon for, accounting, legal, tax or investment advice. Creative One is not responsible for the results of programs discussed on this podcast or any liability stemming from the use of it. Although we may promote or recommend the services offered by this company, agents are ultimately responsible for the use of any materials or services and agree to comply with the compliance requirements of their broker-dealer and registered investment advisor, if applicable, and the insurance carriers they represent. Copyright 2022, Creative One Marketing Corporation.